Welcome back, party people, to round 5 commentary with your boy Sparky. I'm here with Victor. Say hi, Victor.
Hi, Victor.
This week, round 5, we got Ash on Grixis Oculus and Steve on Boros Energy. You know, two relatively new decks to the format. I don't think we've seen lists like these before.
No, definitely not. In the same way that, actually, no, never mind. I don't even have anything clever. This just sucks.
Just
I'm
steeped in sarcasm across the board.
absolutely. I'm excited to see a different take on the Oculus. Wondering if the red will be good, just from a face value standpoint. Haven't had the chance to play against the Grixis variant, but
Looking at the list, it's mostly just for Faithless Looting. I think that's the only red card in the deck.
okay. I mean,
He has
not a bad card.
Pyroclasm in the sideboard and Engineered Explosives to use his 3 colors, so...
You got to fetch.
Ooh, Stern Scolding.
You're at 17.
I like what Steve did here. If you notice, he led with a fetch land, and then with Ash having the mana open, didn't play a 2-drop. I think he had an Ajani in his hand, like specifically chose not to play around Spell Snare. And unfortunately, his spell still got countered, but them's the breaks sometimes.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, especially because the Johnny will have a bigger impact longer in the game. So, granted, if there was no removal or counter there, the Guided Souls by it's kind of to have one doesn't the other because
Yeah.
I know that's not the expression, but whatever. I'll continue to say it wrong. You get the idea though, because the Guide can take away the game if it's not dealt with, and then the Ajani will too. So it's kind of just whichever one you choose. I do think in this control matchup, or your typical aggro versus control deal, that the Ajani is more impactful. Also, less ways to deal with it after a while.
Although, as versatile as Stern Scolding is against the deck that Steve's playing, I think the only card it doesn't hit is Flage, so it counters every other one of his creatures. I think, depending on how many removal spells Ash has in his hand or in his deck, especially when he has got the velocity of playing Faithless Looting with all these other cards, I almost would want to save the counterspell, use the removal, because you're shorter on counter spells than you are on removal, right? At least with his list. I'm seeing 2 actual counterspell, 2 Stern Scolding, 3 Force of Negation, 1 Signet Stupor as ways to interact on the stack. So, we got Steve jamming a Blood Moon. Love to see it. With the addition of Harbinger of the Seas and like the ubiquitous use of Blood Moon, which side would you prefer to be on, Victor?
Harbinger versus Blood Moon, it's tough. I would have loved to have known Ash's hand really quick there, because did he have no way to just not have to pitch all that for a Blood Moon?
I don't like I said, he's short on actual counterspell. I think he only has 2 in the deck. I don't know if I would have pitched the Oculus unless I had like a follow-up. Like, he might have Frog here. It looks like he's got a Deep Analysis.
There's a looting. Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot for. I mean, the Blood Moon might have locked him out, though. You have the blue right there. I guess you would have needed the black to. All right.
Wombo combo, baby.
Yeah, I guess it ended up working out there, because I mean that seemed like a lot of resources just for the. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess the trade off is in fact that you're not.
The Blood Moon would have stopped his only black source that he had in play at that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if
would have been able to loot and then do nothing. Okay. All right. Maybe it would have been worthwhile. Let's see. Is Steve gonna?
Sell your graveyard.
Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. I see.
Prison. What do you want in prison? It resolves.
It guys resolve.
All right, Steve. Remembering his. Always want to be careful, everybody, because if your opponent does ask that what the target is, that usually means it's resolved. So, in a competitive standpoint, a judge might be inclined to, tell you that that means it resolved. So good communication.
Vic, you were asking about Ash's hand, I see looting, push, and singing a stupor.
Okay, so I mean, to be fair, we don't know what was in his hand when that decision was made originally with the
Or-
force.
Or prior to
But-
the looting, so yeah.
I'm allowed to look at my hand.
Sorry.
I'm allowed to decide.
Ash got a little preemptive with the energy counter.
Turn.
Yeah, you do get to draw a card first. So
And you can put the trigger on the stack before it resolves to do something if you have like a galvanic discharge that could kill the manifest token.
Pass turn.
Push.
Sure.
Pretty good. Well sequenced.
Draw.
I wonder. No, okay. I agree with all this so far. I'm happy with it. It's pretty standard.
Here's
The
another
looting. You're gonna pitch probably both your lands.
And then he gets to play the frog for free.
One.
Against one card? I don't mind it.
Yeah, I think you jam it. You have a sync if something
Ooh.
interesting. What isn't it? Just frog and sync into it in his hand.
I believe so. Like I don't think the
And I think the manifested card is a land.
yeah, I don't think you can turn that over.
I don't really like this use of not using your mana.
Untap.
Normally you're trying to represent or bluff something, so I would assume that Ash has said, I played looting, I discarded 2 lands, both of these cards are non-land cards, like, you should respect it.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I'm usually on the other side of it, and I just don't care.
Fair?
Happens.
Okay. So it's not a counterspell, because I think he would have countered that.
Yeah, I mean, I think here's the problem, right? I get that you're trying to bluff, but nowadays, a lot of modern is... Oh, that's a nice draw.
Oh, baby. Jazz Hands gets him 2 more cards.
Flage and Sacred
One of those
Foundry.
was a Flage. Oh, my God. Oh, and he's one land away from cast, escape.
So here's why I don't like the bluffing, right? I get that a lot of times you're trying to make your opponent respect it, especially after that looting, business. However, a deck like Energy they're gonna most of the time jam you. They can't play around the counter spell in the first place, so what are they gonna do?
That's fair.
So like for me, like if I'm in Ash's position, my opponent's gonna play no matter what.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the counterspell, you might as well add to the board. Instead, Ash had to wait till this turn. Now, even if he drew a counterspell, he can't play it because he had to, he deployed.
Because he deployed the frog, and he deployed the frog a turn later than he needed to. Because at this point, he could sing in a stupor whatever this play is. And it's obvious, I mean, by how quick he was moving.
With the land, he drew the land.
Yeah.
I wonder, he may decide to kill a Cat Warrior. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Cat Warrior goes down, we flip the Ajani, we gain the life.
Like how Steve's not even going to escape the... Oh, no, okay. I thought he was just going to just be like, don't even worry, I'm going to bring it right back. Now, here's what I'm going to wonder. 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures, so he can't actually kill the Oculus.
He can with the trigger from the Flage and the 0.
The Johnny. That just stinks that it's just so much.
I'm at 16.
So Steve goes up to 16.
You're a little slow on these life totals here, boy.
I got there.
Combat.
Yeah.
2 cards in hand. I guess he's just making them pump it just so it's 1 less card in his hand.
The issue here is that
Discard.
oh, that was a stern scolding. Does not get Flage, like I said before.
You're at 9.
Hey, that's subtle foreshadowing, like those memes on Instagram.
Yeah, but I mean, like the weird part is, if Ash draws like a non card he wants to play, it's a frog. But he can pump this frog and get the Ajani off the board, but that does not help his life total at all.
1, 2, 3. Fly the frog.
Sure.
Johnny.
No blocks.
And you're also having to pitch a card. He has to pitch another frog, which leaves him with just the sink in hand. I mean, the sink will put.
Draw.
See, but the sink's not even great against the Flage because
Draw.
you're gonna have to put it back to hand, and then Steve still has 7
Yeah,
mana.
Steve has
escape cards.
7 mana and the ability to escape it. The only thing he doesn't have is Arena of Glory.
Yeah, because he really needed the arena.
Combat.
Sink. The page.
So this was a weird.
Untimely malfunction that and change that to my cat warrior.
May I please read?
Yeah.
Oh
So-
boy, hold on.
We got a reader. So Untimely Malfunction is a spicy one of that is in Steve's deck.
Yeah.
It is an instant from Duskmourn. You can destroy an enchantment. 1 or 2 creatures can't block this turn, or change the target of a spell with a single target. Ironically, I was sitting there and just assumed he could bounce the token, but Singing a Super says thing you don't control.
I'm at 9.
Yes,
So
it has to be
so-
a target spell or non-land permanent opponent controls, which means that when you're changing targets, you still have to keep it legal.
That's correct. Me and Steve had talked a little bit after this match. I think he should have bounced the Spyro because he would have gotten to draw 2 more cards, but
Consider. Yep.
because it's an incidental piece of cardboard he can play again as opposed to the card that he can't. And it was 2 damage regardless.
Yeah, which I mean, 3 and 1 are the same life total with a Flage on board anyway. So
Yeah, 6 in one, half dozen in the other.
there you go. That's what it is.
I think, yo.
Thank you for correcting me. I always get that wrong, and I think that
Yeah.
my wife yells at me all the time about it. So I've never bothered to correct myself.
Thanks, Mrs. Victor.
Yes, shout out to Mrs. Rivera. She's the number 1.
Oh, you're just putting your social security number out there? Damn.
Good luck. Look up Rivera in the phone book. Be a while before you find me.
We got Ash at 1 attacking with a frog.
You don't come to play scared.
No, I don't. I've never seen him play scared in his life, and I love the aggression. I'm gonna be honest.
I want to know what that card is. I can't exactly tell. It looked like it was like a full art foil or something with a hand, but I can't.
I think that was the Unearth.
Was it on there? What
It
weird
wasn't-
printing is that?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I mean, unfortunately.
And then I put this up on the screen for the readers at home who don't want to go look up an Untimely Malfunction in case they wanted to hop down in the comments saying he could have bounced the blocker. No, we read the card right. I didn't in the moment, but
yeah,
other
it's
people
like,
did.
usually, I mean, you have to remember when we were playing standard, Spellskite was legal, and that created,
Oh.
many a ruling. So we've
I'd like
gone
to
through
play my Splinter Twin. I would like to play your Splinter Twin on my Spellskite.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, I can't even. Well, I guess it's something that could happen again, but I can't imagine.
No
that
one
happening in
cares. No one
standard.
cares that much.
Yeah.
Ironically, Untimely Malfunction could do that too, because enchantments do target.
What a world we live in.
Okay, so looking at the sideboards, it looks like Steve just brought a box of cards. He's got 1 Draenith, 1 Fear Fire Foes, a Ghost Vacuum, 1 Magus of the Moon, 2 Meltdown, 2 Charmaw, 1 Orm's Chant, 1 Soul Guide Lantern, 2 Stony Silence, 1 Surgical Extraction, and 2 Wear Tear, which I don't think are bad. Cards I'd like to see from him come in, possibly the Magus of the Moon. And then like the Surgical and the Soul Guide Lantern, I think.
I like Ghost Vacuum as well.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I guess I skipped over that. Fear
Yeah,
Fire
'cause-
Foes is more of a mirror card.
Yeah, you're not bringing that in here. Yeah, I'm okay with the Magus. The only thing is, you already have 2 Moon effects, and hopefully Ash is gonna play around it going forward.
With a 3-color deck, it's that much harder though. Like you're not sure what basics he has, what he can and cannot get, and like especially when his only red is doing Faithless Looting stuff. I'm hoping he's got a swamp in his deck and an island.
There is an island in the swamp, so I think with that being
Okay.
said,
I'm doing great.
Ash
Last week,
Ash has to be cognizant of that and say that, listen, they can still be in the deck,
Let me
and
some cards in here that actually
you just gotta you gotta take the risk and still play around it, because getting shut out can end a game for you, especially if you don't respect it. I've played enough on that to know that even though I hate the card and
No.
man, does it infuriate me, I still gotta play around it.
Yeah. And then looking at Ash's sideboard, we got 2 Consigned Memory, 2 Engineered Explosives, a Harbinger of the Seas, 2 Mystical Disputes, 1 Nile Spellbomb, 3 Pyroclasm, 1 Stern Scolding, 2 Subtleties, and 1 Surgical Extraction. Out of those cards, I could definitely see the 3 Pyroclasm coming in, along with the Stern Scolding. And then I wouldn't mind the Nile Spellbomb and the Surgical Extraction.
But if you're, I mean, so only the well, I guess then you run into that situation where if it's main phase, because I was thinking about it, if the Flage is in the yard, you just surgical it, you don't even need the Nihil. But maybe it's still relevant to cause them not to be able to escape it.
So in the exact instance, what Steve had did in the last game, if you stack your triggers correctly and you stack it so that the escape resolves last and it goes to the graveyard, you as the active player maintain priority. So before your opponent can remove it, you can just escape it right then and there, as long as you have the mana to do it, and you don't have to fetch. No, they can't even Nihil it because escape puts it right onto the stack.
No, what I'm saying is Nihil will allow you to blow up the cards beforehand, so Steve can't just bring it back.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Surgical,
that's why I like Nihil.
You would just get instantly smacked in. So I agree with you. I thought about it for a second.
And then there's some potential. There's some warrant, I guess, maybe for Engineered Explosives. Steve deck is like CMC 2 or less for 90% of it. So
yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, you go get your 2 basics, and Engineered isn't online to be a removal spell.
Yeah.
It just registered with you. You were like,
even a Wrath Effect, which is nice.
It took me a second. I was like, oh wait.
Yeah, my hand was good.
I am surprised that Steve is playing such a singleton. I actually thought that Boros Energy was going to start maybe shying away from singletons, just because there's no One Ring in the deck anymore, where you can kind of get away with it a little bit more. I guess you do have Spyro to draw. That's still not the ring. So
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of the lists that I've been liking have been running a mix of, I'm not sure if it's like 6 or 7 of the cards, but some number of Spyro, some number of Fable. Because Fable can be good with a lot of your like plan A of just being an aggressive deck, and like being able to like like on my turn copy an Ocelot, get multiple triggers, get to a point where I get the City's Blessing, do stuff like that, or multiple Guide of Souls, and have a bunch of triggers and a bunch of energy, copying Spyros, copying just like the goblins that make treasure tokens and stuff like that. And I think it gives you a little bit more selection than Spyro does. But I do think like putting more card advantage or card selection pieces into the deck is important, especially if you're going to run some of these one-offs. Although I don't think this is a looting deck.
Thinking about what I got at bottom here.
Got a lot of good cards there. That's a tough one. Sometimes those. I mean, there's a new Mulligan rule. I think that, what do they call this one? London. This is London.
Yeah, this is the London Mulligan.
Yeah, the London Mulligan. I mean, certainly, I think it's the best iteration so far of Mulligan rules that I've played through. I mean, to be fair, I've only played through 3, but sometimes you mull to 6, and it's a tough call.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, you look down at Steve's hand, I think his other land right now is an Arena of Glory, but I think him fetching the Plains is very telling of what he thinks his game plan is.
I think we should get.
It also tells to me that there's a Blood Moon in the deck, so
or there's yeah.
I'm gonna be interested to see what Ash fetches for.
Combat.
Yeah, happens. I take 1 damage.
Now, I'm not certain if Steve just drew that guide. If he did, then I'm probably wrong, but I would have liked to see these cards played in a reverse order.
I'd have to wager that the guy is just drawn. I don't think there's a universe where Steve would ever play that out of order.
Mm-hmm.
No, I cracked down. So never mind. You go.
Trigger?
Yeah.
Cool. I will gain an energy and a life. And a cat. 21. Wow.
All right, so
this
did
is
not get a basic.
no. Let's see. They surveil to the graveyard and draw Watery Grave.
Shock.
17?
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm cool with this. Put it on one. Leave up counterspell. Wait. Oh no.
Oh, that's an instant speed effect, bud.
Combat?
Yep.
Snarf.
Right. Well, as long as
It look. I'm sorry to cut you off here. It looks like Ash has other lands in hand, so that Watery Grave didn't need to be played like that. And there's a potentiality where
Johnny.
I think there was a possibility for us to have a basic in play at this point.
Top steam buttons. Go.
all right. Well, hey, you know what's better than one of Johnny? The second of Johnny.
I don't want to kill a cat because I don't want Johnny to cat. So I think it's a big roll.
3.
I
You're at 13.
I honestly don't think killing a cat here might have been bad.
Untap.
I think you block the 1/1 and then just kill the Ajani on the flip.
Do you even block the 1/1? There's no red permanents. I would have just blocked the 2/1 and then just.
Yeah, get a 2. I guess you get a 2/1 off the board, and then what does he do? He has to plus.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
There's no way he's just making a token.
The frog.
Yep. No blocks.
Yeah, take 2.
Ash has 3 cards in hand.
Draw.
4. Drew a subtlety. Not a bad one.
Definitely a card you could play.
Was there not a land played?
No. I think they're holding it. I don't think they have a land in their hand. It looks like counterspell, subtlety.
I thought. Unless I'm crazy.
I believe they discarded it to the frog.
Oh, okay. I missed that then.
You're at 13. This will be 5 from an action.
8. I will be at 8.
You will be at 8 if you take it.
Aggressively using their life total. I like it.
You're at 8?
Here we go. I mean, remember,
there's also an Oculus. There's also an Oculus in that hand.
Did Ash draw the Oculus? No, we drew the subtlety. I'm very confused.
There's a subtlety and an Oculus and a counterspell. I don't know what the other card is. I think it's a black card.
Static prison.
That's the counterspell. I believe the other card that we don't know about is a frog.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a frog.
Yep.
I don't even know if I like using the counterspell to save this frog if you already have one.
Yeah.
19-8.
Cameo.
I like the Tameo. And then we got... So our hand is subtlety
and sink
and a stupor. Or no, sorry, subtlety Oculus. Sorry.
Oh, Oculus, yes.
Yeah.
Apologize.
Now Steve's kind of stuck. He's been stuck on lands for a little bit. He played the Elegant Parlor last turn, and I believe surveilled to the top. So, let's see. I think jam with the cats is just the plan here, bud.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You get a free block with Tameo. Oh, is he going to force the flip? He does have 2 frogs. And then he can flip the Tameo on his turn if he attacks.
1-2.
Oh, damn.
There's some value potential here. I'm interested to see what the follow-up will be.
Trigger.
Yep.
Okay.
Guys, Johnny triggers.
Second meeting.
This follow-up's going to look like. Oh, there is a Blood Moon.
So Steve has Blood Moon, Spyro. He's got an Ocelot Pride and a God of Souls.
I kind of like deploying your 2 1-drops, but
2 cards in hand.
The only cards that are going to allow him to do anything with the Ajani are the Blood Moon or the Spyro.
oh yeah, because you get Moon in play. The only problem is that you're not killing a single creature.
So you can kill the
Oh, but-
Tameo. You can kill the Tameo because the Tameo blocked the
Oh,
2.
it blocked a. You're right. Never mind.
Yeah.
Actually, it can kill the frog too. Now that I think about it, because I think the frog blocked 1. So
No, he's got 2 extra cards in his hand. So whatever happens here, he can add counters. The Tameo is the only thing that dies.
Yep.
see what happens.
But you have 3 power worth of frogs in play.
You have to just discard all the way down. Pick up.
Okay.
I think that's ballsy.
Untap. Keep. Sure.
That's a deep analysis.
Yeah.
Oh, at 8 life, I don't like it, but
This is the frog.
Sure. Now you got it.
I have to pay 3 life from the flashback. Okay. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's at least
It's the frog.
free to.
so we're all in on frogs at this point.
I hope he's not.
No,
Black frog.
What?
what are you doing?
Why?
No, stop.
Fly. Second frog.
He has no blockers.
All right, for everyone at home, if your opponent doesn't have blockers,
You don't have to
Just
jump
stay-
your stuff.
yeah, save the.
Go that Johnny.
Also, you could have gotten a clue
Dies.
by attacking with the Tameo that was going to flip no matter what happened.
Tameo flip.
Risking some things here, but this is why we're here. We do it. We make mistakes at FNM so we can not do it later.
Tameo.
Yes. Also, it's relevant to keep the stuff in your graveyard because Tameo minus could be relevant.
Or an Oculus draw there because that was 6 cards.
Yes.
Definitely.
Look, I think we just keep the Oculus in our hand because I think we could have ditched whatever the cards were, dealt 5 total to the Ajani, and then like drawn a card, ditched a card to get to 6, play the Oculus, and then I think we just win the game on the spot. Oh no, we don't have blue mana.
For 2. You're at 6.
There's a Blood Moon in play.
Oh, yeah, never mind. Didn't even matter what I said.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so dumb. Sorry, folks at home. I forgot about Blood Moon. The only spells we can play are
Faithless Living.
Faithless Living. So we're all in on the frog.
Target.
Ugh.
Use dogs.
Spend 4.
That's gone.
Yeah.
Player's Guide. Looks like Steve's going for the long haul. This is what now he is Spyro and there's a red card. Never mind. I
I
lied.
think that's a Pyroclasm. Bye bye, Bordy.
Come back.
Whack.
Pick 2 on the frogs.
Sure.
You should have discarded the other card too, bud.
Damage.
What is the other
4,
card?
5, 6.
I don't know, but if we're going all in, we're going all in. There's no spells we can play.
Tameo.
Tameo.
Ash also forgetting that there's a Blood Moon.
You're right. No Tameo.
Yep. I think Ash forgot about the Blood Moon like I did. And
I think we all
that's
forgot
why,
about
that's
the
and
Blood
that's
Moon
why
for
they left
sure.
the extra card in the hand.
Right. Yep. Fire. Yeah.
There we go. Full value again, except those cards stink, it looks like. I mean, it was a land plus something.
I mean, one of them can cast spells, the other one can't.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think
This frog.
Um,
You at 12?
I'm at 12.
well, The only thing is that
dump your entire hand, jump the other frog, and get in. That's where we're at now. We're at the race.
7.
We're racing, baby.
here we go. Let's see. We're going all in.
Pitch.
I wonder what that last card is, because I think it's a card that
It's a brazen
It's a
bar.
brazen
but
borrower.
There's nothing we can do with that.
9, 10.
well,
I want
if you think
everybody.
about it, if an island is drawn, it does get rid of the blood moon.
Yeah, but I think we're just like I think it's just a 2-swing
Yeah.
game here.
Well, it's a 2-swing game either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buy one. Yeah,
Except
Super Bowl.
What?
we're not going. Oh, to be fair, you're dead to Flage if you don't leave a blocker.
That's true. Okay, that's
Which I
fair.
think Steve just drew.
So we have 8. We have 10 damage on the board, and I think we have 3 cards in our hand if we're Ash.
I'm at 8. You're at 6.
The only that stinks is that those jumps when there was no blockers. Now if
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
God.
Both at you.
Yup.
if blocks don't matter.
Give me a minute.
Mhm.
You can't. You play your hands.
I play my
So like here's something weird that would have maybe mattered depending on how many more turns this goes, because Ash had eaten up 6 cards when there was not really a reason to.
He could have got in for all the damage last turn.
Sure. First strike damage.
Sure.
9.
Yeah.
Deal 1 to you.
So,
Yeah, I think him eating his own graveyard in order to get through with no blockers on
oh
Steve's
wait,
side.
he has a Flage, doesn't he? Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Good games.
Games.
Yeah, a couple things on Ash's side I think could have played out a little differently in order for him to win game 2
I
there.
blocked the
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
and also like I think the bigger frog should have been the one attacking there.
So regardless of how you block, you
But
Yeah, because
yeah,
I was one off being able to just
there was a turn that I had.
yeah, it was a little weird, but them's the breaks. Sometimes you show up to FNM and things don't go your way. But that's why we're here, to give you a little insight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our store, and we'll see you next time.